Okay, so now we are gonna be focused on the mixer that we already talked about the microphone that is taking the signal through a cable and you receive it in a mixer and you can process it and you can blend it with another channels and send it through a cable to the speaker later so the people can hear it and you can hear it. So we are going to talk about this. The mixer is just to blend the signals. How I talked last time, is the need that you have several signals, several instrument voices, and you have two main speakers or a PA system, so you need to mix them to send it just through a speaker. So you can process the signal here with a lot of stuff. In this analog mixer is really simple, but I really want you to understand this, how the signal travels in this way and in this way, so you can understand the digital mixer really good. So we have the preamp sessions with the inputs. You have the microphone inputs with XLR connector and the line input with 4-inch connector. Then you have insert, I will explain that, and then you have the output sections here where there are two cables for the L signal and the R signal to the speakers. Then you go through the gain stage. This is really important. We will talk that later, but I just doing an overview of the mixer. This mixer, not every analog mixer has it, but this has a compressor. We are not talking about compressor this time in this mixer. We will not use it. And then we have a little EQ. We have equalizer of 3 bands. We are talking about bands and what is this. Then we have sends and different buses that you can use in different ways, and they are really useful. And then you have a pan for the panoramic of the signal, and finally you have the assignations. Where do you want to send the signal? How you are going to process? You can in this console turn on the signal and the pre-fader listening button, that is really important, and the fader, that is the attenuator. And in the end side, in this side, you have the groups, buses, and the stereo out, that they are the buses that zoom, that get everything together and you can send it everywhere. So we are going to start with this. Why this has 2 inputs? This is really important. It's really important because the microphone input is designed to have microphones connected. It can sound really stupid, but it's that for. The microphones has this kind of connector, XLR. We talk about connections because one pin carry the signal, the other carry the neutral, and the other is the protection, the ground. So when you are talking to a microphone, wherever it be, mostly of the microphones has a kind of signal around 2 millivolts. That is really low. It's 1 volt split in 1,000 times, and you have just 2 millivolts and low impedance. Impedance is really hard to understand, but you just have to have the idea that is the resistance to the electricity, resistance to the signal. So this is a low voltage. It has a little bit of signal and a little bit of resistance to the same. So the mic preamp are designed just for that. They are created to receive a signal with low voltage, and this is with low impedance too. So this is the right connection. If you connect with a cable with XLR to another kind of tip like to this kind of tip to a guitar. For example, this tip to the guitar, and the cable in the other tip has this kind of connection, you are doing something really, really, really wrong, because instruments and I don't know, devices like computers, DJ stuff, and recorders even, they have line signal outputs or inputs. So for example, a line signals is around 2 volts. It's huge, the difference with a microphone. It gives you 2 millivolts and the other has 2 volts. So if you are connecting a signal of 2 volts directly to something that is waiting 2 millivolts, you can burn it. You can crash it like completely. And the line signals and instruments like guitars or piano or whatever, they have high impedance. So that what means that the connector that is receiving it has to have like high impedance. It's the resistance to the electricity. So for example, this is pushing this kind of resistance to the level, and the line signal has this kind of resistance, like really huge. So it will crash it, it will just pass. And in the same time, if you connect a microphone to the line input is just waiting this amount of voltage at this amount of impedance. If you just go with this amount of impedance, it will not pass. You will have so little signal. It will like crash your signal. That is why this is designed for what it says there. How do you fix that? How do you connect a guitar in the mic input and wherever is with the direct boxes? That is why they were designed. So you connect your guitar to a direct box and it changes the impedance, and the signal is a little bit different, and it can be connected with an XLR cable to a mixer. So I hope you can understand that it's a little bit complex, but line signals should be in the line inputs, and the low impedance signals, microphone signals, instrument signals through a direct box has to go to a mic input. It's just that. Then you have the gain stage. This is very important. Just to say something, sadly we don't have like the power supply for this mixer, so we can't see it. Like, you will not see the lights go on, but I will try to explain you anyway. The gain stage is really, really, really important, because this is an electrical device. This has to work with a special amount of voltage inside. So how does it work? You have the signal going, and usually the microphone signals, voices, or whatever that is not so loud at drum needs more voltage, so the mixer can work in a really good way. So you lift the gain to a level that is useful, to a level that you will not lose the signal using it. Because just going a little bit forward, when you use the equalizer, and you push down a frequency, like you are cutting 15 dBs or a signal, and at the same time you are doing that, the voltage is going lower because you are cutting that frequency. So if you are cutting another and another, you are doing that, your signal goes lower, slower. And if you are sending it in this way and this way, this way, this way, and all this path, your signal will be really, really low at the end of the day. So that is why this is so important, because you need the voltage enough to the signal can work really well inside of this. And how do you see visually if the signal is the correct amount? All the mixers has had a button here that in this case sometimes has a different name like solo or something like that. They have a button, it's called pre-fader listening or PFL. So what is happening when I push this button? Sorry, we can't see it, but what happens, there are two things happening at the same time. The first is that you will send this signal to the phone's output or the monitor output. So even you are having like your band already sounding, or you have like background music. For example, this is the music. You have your background music sounding. If I push the pre-fader listening in this channel, I will just listen that signal on my headphones. Or if I have monitors just for me, a pair of little speakers. So that is really useful, really useful, and that's why this has that name, because you can hear in your monitors the signal pre-fader, before the fader. So even if the fader is really down, you can listen to it.